Welcome to the show. We've got some big news today on the JRPG Report. This is episode 189. I'm your host, James Fisher, and out of nowhere, we've got some surprise news at the top of the podcast. I don't want to waste any time, so let's get into it. We talked last week about Sony's State of Play that was going on, and we kind of speculated if there was going to be JRPG news, it was going to be probably Final Fantasy 16. The State of Plays do not usually disappoint. They've been pretty good, to be honest. So overall, yesterday's State of Play was kind of terrible. Like, I don't even remember what was shown, except for one thing. About 2.5 minutes, right there in the middle, just thrown in there, we got news of a new Star Ocean. That's right, guys. I'll be honest, after part 5, even though I personally liked it, not many other people did, and I kind of thought the series was dead in the water. Even the mobile game kind of got pulled, I think, about a year ago. It wasn't looking good, but we indeed have Star Ocean 6. They're not using the numbers, but I like to use the numbers. And this is called The Divine Force, published by Square Enix and developed by Tri-Ace. So Tri-Ace has been doing all the Star Ocean games. They are back for a 6th mainline game. I guess there was an offshoot, and then the mobile game too. But of course, this was on Sony's State of Play. So at first it was just announced for PS5 and PS4. There's been a couple updates since then, and in fact, it is also coming to Xbox Series, Xbox One, and PC via Steam. And they say it's going to launch next year in 2022. I'm going to guess more towards the latter half, because buried at the bottom of the news segment, it was said that more information is coming in the spring of 2022. So if you're bringing more info out, I would say the earliest we're going to see this game is probably summer, more likely the fall. There was a amazing debut trailer to go along with it. It is very Star Ocean. You can immediately recognize it as being such. The graphics obviously have a bit of an overhaul for new generation systems and capabilities. The action is pretty fast. It kind of always has been, but it's even more so now. And immediately you see the ability to fly. Now, obviously the characters do not fly. This is a futuristic space exploration game, so it's always been kind of weird that they couldn't have more advanced capabilities. In this one, they do have the ability to fly around. In the trailer, it showed both cities and the open world setting to explore, to gain an advantage on enemies, kind of dropping in down on them. Enemies will be on the screen this time to see and engage, and it'll be a seamless transition into that. I don't think it's going to be like Tales where it's a separate screen. I believe you're just going to be fighting them kind of as you see them. We'll have to see if that's indeed the case or not. So yeah, I'm really excited. I love this series. I was thinking back on it. I need to play the remake of Part 1. I got in on Part 2 on PS1, and it's one of those deals like, it's been a long time. I don't remember how far I got into it. I actually didn't care for Part 3. Loved 4, and like I said, I was one of the few that really liked 5. So I'm excited to see this come back. Here is kind of the overview. We've got a lot of detail to go over for this game as well. Developed by Tri-Ace Incorporated, Star Ocean, The Divine Force will transport players to an expansive sci-fi fantasy world and take them on an exhilarating journey with fast-paced action combat, rich exploration, and an original story. I kind of forgot about this. We've been talking about milestones quite a bit here lately, and Star Ocean is celebrating 25 years. Everybody's celebrating. Seems like 20 years, 25 years. All these great series have been around with us for so long. So kind of in honor of that 25th anniversary, we have a new game that builds on the rich history with new features that are sure to delight for many years to come. The debut trailer showcased various new and returning elements to the Star Ocean franchise. Players can look forward to those super high-speed action battles. No random encounters. Okay, there you go. Players will seamlessly enter battles with enemies that populate the world. Okay, so it does sound like you see them kind of like Tales of Luminaria. You see them, you engage. That's how you fight them. Players can float in the air, dive at enemies, and fly around enemies. It looks pretty fun. Kind of just a fast way to traverse players. One of the biggest gripes, it seemed like, with Part 5 was just the trudging back over areas and through areas that you'd been 10 times before in order to get to that next area. That was kind of a hassle. Richer exploration. Climb towering mountains, venture into dark, vast valleys, and investigate the castles and towns present in the world. Showcasing a diverse cast of playable characters, Star Ocean: The Divine Force will tell a gripping story that seamlessly melds science fiction and fantasy elements and can be enjoyed by newcomers to the series and veterans alike. The game features dual protagonists, which offer different story perspectives and gameplay experiences. First, you have Raymond, who's the captain of the space trading ship Ydas, YDAS, and Letitia, a princess knight of the kingdom on an underdeveloped planet. Fate will bring Raymond, Letitia, and several other allied characters together, all designed by renowned artist Eichmann, who did Star Ocean Integrity and Faithlessness, as well as the Street Fighter series. Of course, this is the latest title in the series from Square Enix and developer Tri-Ace. The first game was back in 1996. That's quite a history. Here is kind of the outline of some of the. They say this in the trailer kind of talks about that at the end of infinite space, the fate of the universe awakens when our two heroes cross paths. In this game, characters can move 360 degrees and also fly in the sky. You can move and freely explore in 3 dimensions. Everything you see is part of the field. That's pretty cool stuff. Whether you're flying around and exploring rock faces and roofs of buildings in the cities, or leaping off cliffs to seamlessly enter battles, you'll have more freedom in terms of both adventuring and battling. This Star Ocean has the fastest and strongest action of any entry in the series. This play experience, where you play as you please, has also helped to evolve the characters. Characters can subdue a large number of enemies with super high-speed movement attacks, an action where you can vanish for a brief moment right in front of your enemy's eyes, and a skill which could kill in one hit. The game will feature a challenging yet thrilling battle experience to enjoy while freely soaring in the skies. When you see it in action in the trailer, it makes sense. I mean, like I said, these games have always been kind of fast-paced, and this kind of just looks like it's taking it to the next layer. The stories are always kind of intriguing as well, mixing that sci-fi as well as still, even though it's in the future, we've got spaceships, everybody still fights with swords, because that's the way it goes. Here is the prologue to it. The Pan-Galactic Federation, from their earliest days in the Sol system, this organization has sought to bring peace and tranquility to galactic multitudes. As their reach has expanded through the universe, many a hero has served under their banner, saviors to planets in need. But by the year 583 SD, things have changed. The once peaceful Pan-Galactic Federation is now known for assimilating planets against their will. Once standing for justice, they are now wreathed in darkness. So they're saying that's 583. I should have probably looked at this up and seen how far. It sounds like this is the latest in the game. All the games are connected, but yet different, and they definitely go along a timeline. So this sounds like it's at the end of that timeline. Raymond, captain of the merchant vessel Yardis, departs from the non-federated planet of Vergold on a standard transport mission. The job is simple, the route familiar, yet things go awry when Yardis is attacked by the Astoria, a battleship carrying a member of the Pan-Galactic Federation's preeminent Kenny family. Of course, you're going to have the Kennys always represented. Raymond and his crewmate Chloe are forced to abandon ship amidst the chaos and head for the remote, underdeveloped planet of Aster 4. Before their escape pods can even land, a burst of energy resembling an EMP from the planet's surface knocks out their systems and brings them crashing down. They find themselves separated and stranded on an unfamiliar planet. Upon landing, Raymond is immediately attacked by some of the less than friendly local wildlife. When all seems lost, his life is saved by the crown princess of the kingdom of Asurius, who is Letitia. Marveled by the sudden appearance of this man who rode into her life on a shooting star, Letitia asks Raymond to help save her kingdom from the threat of the neighboring Vale Empire. He accepts in exchange for help finding Chloe. So begins their journey on Aster 4. However, Raymond will soon discover he has yet to escape the shadow of the Pan-Galactic Federation. Pretty cool start. Let's see where this goes. Like I said, this is a dual protagonist system. Science fiction and fantasy protagonists from different civilizations collide in a story experienced from each perspective. The dual protagonist system has made its comeback. The story of this magnificent ocean of stars unfolds through the eyes of a protagonist from an advanced civilization, the sci-fi one, and the one from an underdeveloped planet, the fantasy element. The events take place during the story, who will be your allies at the end of the game, and also change depending on the protagonist that you choose. So we kind of outlined the two of them. First is Raymond, whose weapon of choice is the great sword. If you looked at some of the images, the character art for Raymond, it looks just fine, except it's really odd. Like, his arms are super veiny. You know, like you see like the professional wrestlers from the 80s where they worked out way too much and their arms are all like, it's kind of offsetting, to be honest with you. And it doesn't appear in his in-game model. So I don't know why that was kind of on there. It's kind of there, but it's nothing near as pronounced as it is in his character art. So he is a young man from the non-federated planet of Regold, captain of the merchant vessel Yardis under Lawrence Logistics, a company run by his family. His conscience often seems him rushing recklessly into situations where it comes to his friends and work, much to the distress of the crew. Raymond has a big heart, affable nature, and a good nose for business. His lack of affiliation with the Pan-Galactic Federation means he's not bound by the underdeveloped Planet Preservation Act. His sincere openness to meet others where they're at, regardless of technological advancements, wins Letitia over, but leaves Albred wary. We'll get to that momentarily. If you recall, in some of the previous games, that was kind of always the deal. A little Star Trek-ish. You know, you don't want to like meddle in the affairs of the underdeveloped planets, although they seem to always end up doing that. The other protagonist is Letitia. I hope I get that name correctly. It's Laeticia. She uses dual blades and has all the armor. Princesses usually don't have as much armor as this, but we'll see about that. Princess of the Kingdom of Asurius, a large territory located on the underdeveloped planet of Aster 4. Her radiant and resolute personality is admired throughout the kingdom, but her prim demeanor betrays her panache for wearing armor and remarkable skills with dual blades. In order to remedy the encroaching threat of the neighboring company, Letitia sets off on a secret journey to locate a certain individual. She meets Raymond along the way, recently stranded on the planet. The two agree to help each other and begin traveling together. So those are your two main protagonists. They have two other characters, the aforementioned Albred, who uses chakrams and has some magic on his side. A childhood friend of Letitia's, he now serves under her as a knight of the kingdom. He excels at semiomancy. I've never got those names quite right. And wielding of the chakram. His strong sense of loyalty to Letitia means he is never far from her side. Albert's left arm is covered down to his fingertips, and he occasionally gestures as if to protect it. Ooh, something's going on there. He doesn't trust Raymond upon meeting him while escorting Letitia on her secret journey. Loath to go against her wishes, however, he reluctantly allows Raymond to join them. And the other character that we know about right now is Elena. She uses hybrid weapons, a crew member of the merchant vessel Yidris and Raymond's first mate. She manages the operation of just about the entirety of the ship, and her vast knowledge and cool demeanor have earned her the complete trust of Raymond and the crew. Elena is constantly surprised by Raymond's proclivity for recklessness, but all the same holds a high opinion of his leadership qualities. So in one screenshot, it shows her using like a long energy whip type deal. The other one is more of a scythe. So sounds like she's got a lot going on in the weapons department. There was a ton of images that were shown in the later updates, in addition to the debut trailer. Those will be on the podcast version of the the video version of the podcast on YouTube. I'll try to put those together into a slideshow later today as well. The trailer does a good job showing that the screenshots kind of just give a little more detail to certain things and allow you to really see what's going into this game. But what do you guys think? I know Star Ocean is it's not quite, the level of the Final Fantasies and Dragon Quest and Personas and Tales of the world, but it's been around for 25 years, and I feel like it's one of those series that if you've been playing them for a long time, you really enjoy them, and you're going to be excited about this game. Newcomers, maybe. I mean, obviously, like I said, the games are connected, but you don't, and even they said in there, you don't have to know the story in order to enjoy this one. They're not connected like that. But I'm excited. I'm really excited too, because I feel like this is a good new trend. They develop a game for a while, get it to a showable place, show it, and then say it's coming out the next year. Now, obviously, delays happen. We just dealt with a year of delays going on, and some games just disappearing outright. But give us something we can really hold on to. And I this saying 2022, I think they probably can meet that. Trias has been doing this for a long time, so is Square Enix. So I think it's coming. I cannot wait for this game. It really wants me. It's inspired me to want to go and finally pick up that remake of Part 1. And I've been wanting to play back through 5 again as well to see, sometimes when you play a game, you can enjoy it and then you hear others' complaints about it, or vice versa. If you didn't like a game, then you hear someone's compliments on a game. You kind of want to go back and revisit that through a different set of eyes and see like, oh yeah, I do see that. That is pretty annoying. Or maybe I like this part of a game so much that it, overrode its flaws. So with this maybe come out later on, that should give me some time to play back through those. But definitely check out the trailer on our YouTube channel, JRPG Report. And says we'll have some more information come in the spring. As soon as I hear something, I'll be sure to pass it along to you guys. A few weeks ago, we speculated about possibly seeing the Blue Reflection Second Light demo make its way to the West. Of course, it was already available in Japan. And that is indeed happening. Koei Tecmo and developer Gust have announced the demo for the game is now available. However, it's only for Switch and PS4. Yeah, PC players, you're probably not going to be able to experience the demo before this game is released. They also said they're going to be adding some new content, such as photo mode filters and a hardcore difficulty mode post-release. Here is the demo itself. We kind of talked about this last time, but let's refresh our memories. The game follows the adventures of 3 students, Ao, Kokoro, and Yuki, who find themselves transported to a mysterious floating academy, searching for clues to find their way back home with only their names as memories. In the trial version, players will be able to experience both the prologue and story demo of the game. In the prologue, fans will play through Ao's journey from the beginning as she first wakes up in this dreamlike world, while the story demo lets fans learn experience about the gameplay basics such as crafting, exploration, and battle. As a bonus, Players who complete the prologue will obtain the bunny head accessory and the fragment Preparing for the Unknown as exclusive bonuses when updating to the latest full version of the game. I've not seen clarification on this or not, and it didn't mention that you could, so it kind of sounds like this is just going to be, although it's at the beginning of the game, it doesn't sound like you're going to be able to carry your progress over. May be wrong about that, but I can neither confirm nor deny it, and since they didn't say you could, that probably means that you can't. Post-launch, Gus Studio announced a number of free updates arriving after the name. The first update will hit on November 23rd, include all new photo mode filters, including watercolor and hatching, along with the ability to take photos of the character in reflector form. On December 21st, all new photo frames and idle poses will be available in photo mode, along with the ability to build a photo studio in the school development, plus the addition of a more hardcore difficulty mode, aptly titled Must Die. The Must Die content throws the students into extremely challenging battles where the enemies are not only more powerful, but the likelihood of enemies dropping items also increases. Additional photo mode updates will be available January 14th of next year, including the pixel art filter, and even more unique poses to add even more variety to your array of snapshots. Blue Reflection Second Light is already out in Japan, and it is due out for PS4, Switch, and PC via Steam on November 9th in North America and Europe. So yeah, it gives you a little under 2 weeks to check out the demo. I said this before, this game needed a demo in order to showcase it to Western audiences that either missed the first game or wanted to see what kind of improvements were made to this one from the first one. We'll see. I'm still trying to wrap up Tales of Arise, and I don't know if I'm going to get straight into a new game or check this demo out. I'm pretty thinking I'm going to skip this one, but I may check out the demo just to see if, in fact, my fears are of this game. I know a lot of people are looking forward to it, and I can check this thing out next month pretty quickly. But yeah, good news that we got the demo. It needed to come, and indeed it is. We got more news today. As is often the case, I get to be able out Wednesday, and I'm kind of doing some prep for the podcast and seeing how many stories I'm going to have. It was looking a little sparse. So in addition to the huge Star Ocean 6 news, this thing also popped off. We were wondering when Tales of Luminaria was coming. It appeared that it was coming soon from all indications, and in fact, it is. It will launch for iOS and Android on November 4th. Developer Bandai Namco and developer Colpol announced. You can pre-register for the game right now. We mentioned that there's going to be the 7 protagonists available at first of the 21 total. This is recommended for people who want to play an epic anime RPG with an intricate story set in a fantasy world. Players who have played Tales of games, love Japanese anime, and games who are looking for a new Japanese RPG, are searching for a 3D action game. There you go. With cell graphic-like visuals that coexist with profoundness and beauty, such as a map with a sense of depth and atmosphere, you can freely explore a vast and alluring location. The game's sequence have been designed to ensure that battles and events proceed seamlessly and at a good pace. Basic attack, technique, secret mystery can be activated by tapping and flicking. Secret mystery, is that like a mystic art? Each action and operation system has its own characteristics, expressing the character's individuality. I'll let you guys know. Let's see, November 4th. What day of the week is that? That is next Thursday. So if in fact it does pop off at midnight or early that morning, I'll see if I can't load it up and see if it's cool or not and let you guys know. I've been trying to record these like earlier on Thursday to get them out a little bit earlier, so we'll have to see. If nothing else, I have a report for you in 2 weeks from today. There is an upcoming, okay, so not upcoming, I skipped the story. When the game launches, there will only be English voices. And while I prefer English voices myself personally, it's an odd choice. So asked about that. The producer, Suji, asked, to answer the question, the English version will only be playable in English. We really did want the overseas version to include Japanese, but there were too many hurdles we had to jump over and weren't able to include it. That said, with the help of Funimation and the talent of the amazing voice actors, the English voices used in this game are all natural and really fit the characters they're portraying. With everyone's hard work, each character really has their soul poured into it, and we feel you'll get the experience similar to that of the Japanese version. That said, while it may be difficult, if there are enough comments to warrant adding Japanese to the game, we'll make sure to consider it. So please make yourself heard via our social media channel. So there you go. Flood social media. If you are I was going to say purist, but if that is what you enjoy, is Japanese voices in these games, just flood the Tales of Luminaria Twitter page. Say, hey, this is unacceptable. I want Japanese voices. I'm guessing, when we're dealing with these mobile games, they're pretty much all online. There were limitations in terms of storage and just, it was a logistics decision. I don't know. We'll see. There obviously is a lot of voice acting in this game. There's 21 main characters, so they probably just felt like it was a lot easier to just have one or the other, but they could obviously include it in a patch at a later date and time. There also was an announcement today, and not surprising at all, that Tales of Arise shipments and digital sales have topped 1.5 million. And that's just over a month since the announcement of the game selling over 1 million units. So yeah, it continues to sell and sell. Still got quite a ways to go before it reaches the best selling of all time, but I really thought it would get to that point, and maybe it will as we get closer and after like the holidays, stuff like that. There is a popularity poll going on right now for Tales of characters. This is in response to Tales of Arise coming out and some new characters. You can check I shared the article on our social channels on Facebook and Twitter. That will get you the link to the special website that you can vote on in the poll. However, you do have to have a Bandai Namco ID in order to participate. You can sign up for that, obviously, but yeah, it's not just a simple poll. You'll need to have some information with you. The results of the poll will go on or be announced at the Tales of Festival 2021, which is when is that? That's in December, is it not? No, it's not. It's November 19th through the 21st. So you'll be able to check that out at that time. One last kind of odd Tales of announcement. There is a Tales of Orchestra that is going to be going on November the 20th. Is in Japan, obviously. It is a 25th anniversary encore. So it's a pretty cool. They showed a clip of it on Twitter, and it showed a bunch of different themes from previous games. It looks incredible. It was announced that people will be able to watch this outside Japan for about $30. So yeah, you can watch the, live stream of the event. Right now, it's limited to fans in Germany, the United Kingdom, and the United States. Not sure why it's not just worldwide, but I say it's an odd announcement because going to an event like that is one thing. Watching a live stream of that is another thing. But paying money for it, when you gotta imagine this is going to be available at some point later. It's an orchestra, so unless you really got $30 burning a hole in your pocket and you really want to see this, I would just wait and watch it for free later. I don't know. That's what it seems like to me. That's odd to pay money for a live stream of such a thing that's not sport, not a live event that you want to know the outcome of right away. There's a link to that in the articles that I shared. Tickets can be purchased up until the event on November the 20th. There was a new trailer for Triangle Strategy. It's still hard for me to say that without putting project at the beginning of it. Nintendo, Square Enix, and developer Art Dink have released this new trailer for the turn-based strategy RPG. Game's due out on the Switch exclusively on March the 4th of 2022 worldwide. This new trailer is called Challenge Your Convictions. It focuses on characters like Serenia and Frederica. More specifically, the video highlights the current situation in the game's world. As people follow, not Serenia, Serenoa, House Wolford's heir, they will need to make choices. Each one affects his life, Frederica's, and the world in general. The video hints at some possible outcomes, and while we don't see the choices made, we do see the responses of other characters. The video begins at hinting at some possible outcomes. For example, at the beginning we see Prince Roland Glenbrook is hostile to him. Then we see Wolford War Council member Benedict Pascal betrayed by Serenoa's decision. The last initial response comes from Frederica and shows her potentially breaking up with her betrothed. Check out the new trailer on our YouTube channel. Let me know how if you're looking forward to this game or not. I'm not a strategy RPG player, but I love the 2D HD look to this game. We've seen a couple of games in that. We've obviously got Dragon Quest III upcoming in this style, so it gets me excited for potential games along and what it means. If the game sells well, the rumor right now, so you might perk your ears up on this one, is that Final Fantasy Tactics would be getting this treatment and a remake. Keyword is rumor there. They've been talking about this game for a long time. Like I said, I'm not a strategy guy, but the game needs a proper remake. This game is kind of a throwback to that idea in some ways, so maybe they're kind of like, let's develop this engine, get good at it, and then give Final Fantasy Tactics the remake that it deserves in this HD 2D fashion. This doesn't affect us as much, but NIS America will release the PC version of The Legend of Narita Boundless Trails via Steam in Japanese on December 11th, publisher announced. The PC version will feature a handful of exclusive new features by PH3, including turbo mode, ultra widescreen support, autosave, and additional configuration options. The English PC version is due out alongside the console release in 2023. Well, console as in PS4 and Switch. So you get a PC, PlayStation 4 version of a game that the PS5 will have been out for approximately 3 years. And Switch, if we're still playing and there's not a Switch new system by 2023, I know we're getting the OLED version of it, but that system is already underpowered and needs a new version. They definitely need to have one by that year. So there was a little trailer that went along with it as well. You can check that out on our YouTube channel. That is the offshoot to the Trails of series, more of an action RPG system. Honestly, looks a lot more like Ys than it does Legend of Heroes title, but yeah, that is the last one that is coming over after Trails into Reverie after the two Crossbell games, this is going to be the fourth one to make its appearance. A new trailer was also released for Shin Megami Tensei V, and it is dubbed The World in Ruins. The ambitions of God and human clash in this game. It shows a ruined world landscape and what I guess you're going to try to do to save this different version of Tokyo. Fans don't have to wait too much longer on this one. November the 12th worldwide. So yeah, right about 2 weeks to go until it's going. So this will hopefully whet your appetite a little bit. I'm sure if you're looking forward to SMT 5, you don't need another trailer to convince you of that. But, well, there you go. Whether you want it or not, there it is. The nation building 3D battle RPG, at that time I got reincarnated as a slime, Aseki Memories, is now available for iOS and Android devices worldwide. Bandai Namco and developer WFAS announced. Here's an overview. It is a new 3D battle RPG. You don't want to miss this riveting new adventure that brings together your favorite series characters and introduces new one. You can relive the famous moments from season 1 of the anime with fully voiced cutscenes. The star-studded vocal cast lend their talents to battle voices and interactions in towns as well. Use the nation building system to create your ideal version of Tempest. Build and position all sorts of buildings and facilities, your citizens' homes, restaurants, the blacksmith shop, the laboratory, magic-enhancing facilities, and more. You can walk through the town you built and interact with your citizens to get a glimpse of their daily lives. That's pretty impressive for a mobile game. Obviously, had to see how it looks, but when this game was getting talked about, some of the comments for my previous videos, they were like, is Tempest, is that world building element going to be in it, nation building? And I guess no. I didn't think the smartphones would be capable of such a thing, but there you go. It has a 3D command-based battle system. The controls are simple. Just select the cards for your hand, but there's deep strategic gameplay to enjoy as you learn to effortlessly use abilities drawn from the original work. Enjoy dazzling finish move animations that will make you feel like you've stepped into the anime. There's an animated opening and theme song as well for this. So yeah, if you've been waiting for this one, it is out now. I'm guessing it's kind of a gacha system to it where it's free, but then you get to pay for various elements of the game. We knew this back in July, but Bandai Namco has officially delayed Digimon Survive from this year to next year. When it does come out, it'll be available for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC via Steam. Not sure why they waited so long to delay it. It's kind of odd because it has popped up on a few ratings boards here recently for a couple, not the United States, but a couple other countries. Here is the official announcement from Kazumosuwa Huba, who is the producer of the game. First of all, we'd like to thank you for your continued patience and support of Digimon Survive. Our original goal was to launch in 2021. However, due to the need to allocate more time to development, it is necessary to move the game's release to 2022. While this decision hasn't been an easy one, we want to make sure we use this extra time to enhance the quality of the game. The entire development team is working as hard as we can on the game, and we kindly ask for your patience. We look forward to sharing more news and updates about the game soon. Again, thank you for your continued support. There you go. It's official. It's not coming out till next year. They didn't really put a season on it either, just saying that's going to be next year. So if you've been holding out hope, maybe you saw that it was rated on a couple message boards or something, but unfortunately it is it's not coming this year. It'll be next year. Hopefully, as soon as I hear a more definite timetable, I will let you know. Got a few more fun stories to talk about here as we wrap up episode 189. Don't forget you can follow us on social media channels, Facebook and Twitter. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can see all the trailers that we talk about on a daily basis, as well as video versions of the podcast. And if you like what you hear, if you like what you see, please consider financial support. We have endeavored to keep this ad-free for the podcast, but that does require support. And anything that you can add, there are links below. You can either do it directly through the Anchor app or even on Patreon. We have plenty of support over there from many fine folks. If you don't want to sign up for a monthly deal, but you got a few extra bucks in your pocket, you're feeling generous this holiday season, PayPal works as well. Link down below, James Fisher Productions at gmail.com. I would greatly appreciate it. And my wife would say, hey, cool. You're not just spending time hiding in your room away from us. Not that she ever does that. Final Fantasy V is the latest Pixel Remaster game to come out. It will launch for PC via Steam, iOS, and Android on November 10th for $17.99. If you know you're going to play this one, pre-order it because you'll save some money. You'll get a 20% discount, which will knock it down to $14.39. In addition to the discount price, additional pre-order incentives for the PC version include 3 specially arranged music tracks and 2 limited wallpapers. Here is the overview. The original Final Fantasy V comes to life with completely new graphics and audio as a 2D pixel remaster. A remodeled 2D take on the 5th game in the world-renowned Final Fantasy series. Enjoy the timeless story told through charming retro graphics. All the magic of the original with improved ease of play. The King of Tycoon has sensed a disturbance in the wind. When the crystals that balance the powers of the world are threatened, the king hastens to the rescue, only to go missing. Somewhere, a young man and his chocobo find themselves drawn towards friends that will change their destiny. Building on the job system of previous games, FF5 includes a diverse selection of jobs to try, a unique ability system that lets you combine skills, develop your characters with free reign, and master your battle tactics in Final Fantasy V. Here are the key features: universally updated 2D pixel graphics, including iconic pixel designs by Kazugo Shibuya, the original artist and current collaborator. Beautifully rearranged soundtrack in a faithful Final Fantasy style, overseen by original composer Nobuo Uematsu. Improved gameplay, including modernized user interface, auto battle options, and more. Dive into the world of the game with supplemental extras like the bestiary, illustration, gallery, and music player. Now, note, this remaster is based on the original game released back in 1992. Features and or content may differ from previously released versions of the game, i.e. the PS1 Classics version of it. That's one that I have. Nothing wrong with that game whatsoever, but this one does look pretty good. Like I said, if you're looking to do that, you can pre-order it now up until its release on November the 5th. Square Enix also announced that digital editions of Final Fantasy XIV Complete Edition and Shadowbringers are on sale until November 17th of this year. The sale arrives just ahead of the release of Endwalker. Players will be able to obtain the Complete Edition or Shadowbringers individually at a 60% discount. That's a pretty hefty discount, 60%. As of the time this article was written, it's only available to Europe and Japan. Previous offers were available in North America, so check and see if that is, in fact, I think it's like 60% of the audience that listens to this is North America, so check on that. I'm not saying it's not, but like I said, as the time I'm reading this article, that was the deal. Of course, everybody that's playing this one is gearing up towards Endwalker, which will arrive on November the 23rd. I kind of forgot about this game, and I don't know if I want to remember it or not, but I think it's worth mentioning that Fantasy Life Online is coming west. This game launched back in 2018 in Japan from Bolt Trend Games, and Level 5 developed Simulation RPG. They're going to have a closed beta test for Android coming up this week in Canada, Australia, Malaysia, Finland, Romania, and Argentina. Data will be erased following the test. However, all money spent during the closed beta will be refunded in double in the upcoming open beta test. I don't really remember this thing, but if you say the words level 5, I'm at least going to check it out out of respect for what level 5 has done in the past. Obviously, it's a mobile game. It's 3 years ago that it was released in Japan. I don't know if it's really worth even looking at, but we'll see. When this thing finally does make its way to the West, we'll see if it's worth your time and trouble. One last story, and I don't know the far-reaching implications of this, but here's the news. Shoji Meguro, best known as the composer for Persona and Shin Megami series, has left Atlus. He is now joined at the, we'll just call it the GCL, as an independent developer. This announcement came via his Twitter feed, where he announced that he wanted to work on an independent project. He actually left back in September, but it's just now being kind of brought to light, let's put it that way. He composed music for Persona, as well as Shin Megami Tensei 3, Nocturne, and Catherine, to name a few. Besides composition, he acted as game director for Persona 2, both of those games, and has a producer credit on Persona 5, was the sound director for Persona Q, Persona 4 Arena, and the rhythm games. He even composed music for the various anime adaptations of the game. On its surface, that doesn't sound good, right? A man so heavily involved with the music, which is arguably one of the best features of the game. However, he wasn't the absolute only person working on the music. He was definitely heavily involved, and as with everything in life, I wish him well in his future endeavors and thank him for his work that he's done so far. I have to feel like Atlus has a team of very talented music producers that will be able to step up and fill the void, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I think it'll be okay, but yeah, it's certainly worth noting that such a high-profile player has moved on in his career. That is going to do it. Episode 189. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be yesterday, but I am so happy that it turned into a rather long, I always think that our sweet spot's around 45 minutes. We're getting closer to 50 on this one. So when you talk about Star Ocean 6 for 20 minutes, you're going to have a longer podcast. Thank you so much for watching each and every week. And I say watching, as we're now have these video versions up on Spotify. Thank you for listening. You guys' continued support of this podcast always fires me up to do this each and every week. And hopefully we'll have some big things to announce here pretty soon as far as growing the brand and how you can help be a part of that. Until next time, my name is James Fisher. We're signing off for this time. But before that, you need to get back out there and level up.